Hey, pretty people, and welcome back to another episode of Kamacorder. You may be wondering, like, who even is she? Thanks. So, I obviously, like, I cut my hair, and it's like a brown ginger color now, and I love it. I'm in love with it. Like, I love it so much. I also have bangs, but for the sake of like this podcast being kind of like a little sleepover vibe, and also for the sake of like me filming this already and like getting overstimulated, I would just like put them in a roller. We'll take them out later. Period. Before we get into like the actual podcast, I kind of wanted to do a little bit of like a life update. So, first of all, like obviously, yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I cut my hair and I'm looking like the baddest bitch alive. Like I look so good with this hair. Work. I'm also not in a community college anymore. I'm at a uni. I did mention this in like my last college diaries vlog. I'm on winter break, so next semester I'm gonna be doing a bunch more uni vlogs because I genuinely think it's not like no shade to the CCs because they're literally the reason why I even was able to do this like affordably, right? But like I feel like the college experience really happens when you're in a university. And so like I'm really excited for this new chapter and for like me being able to vlog more because I had a lot more on my plate surprisingly when I was at CC, and now I'm kind of chilling. So I can't wait to vlog more, do more stuff, and like actually get to experience my college life. Word. And you guys get to be along with me and I get to document it all, and I'm like so excited. So yeah. Other than that, I also wanted to bring attention to my friend Mahmoud's campaign to escape Gaza. He was a college student just like me and just like many of you girls watching, and was not able to complete his studies because his university literally got bombed by Israeli armed forces. And since then, him and a lot of other Palestinians have just been on survival mode, barely getting by with barely any food and water because they're being restricted in a genocide right now. And so, if you guys have $5, $20, even like $2, $3 to spare, please go to the link in my description. It's going to be the first link there. Click on that link and then you'll be able to donate to him and his cause. Other than that, let's move on to the rest of this podcast. Thank you. So tonight's mood of the night is I'm feeling cutesy, I'm feeling fresh, and I'm feeling good. I'm just like I'm super excited for like this new chapter because I feel like everything is definitely starting to align now. I was like 2024 kicked my ass, and now I'm gonna celebrate with my new version of myself that's eating up. Right. Thank you. Oh my god, my current obsession. My current obsession right now is me. It's me and it's books. I'm really trying to get back into like affirmation, self-love, or like just like practicing self-care but in a way where I'm taking care of my mental health because that's something that I really wanted to focus on in the past, but I didn't really have the like understanding of myself that I do now. So I'm just trying to take it one day at a time and figure myself out without being too hard on myself. So yeah, my current obsession is me, especially after I got my haircut. Like I've just been feeling really good about myself and good about where everything is going. This is part two of the K drama episode. So, this episode, I'm going to be talking, or this part, I'm going to be talking about like all the things I don't like about K dramas because, like I said in the first episode, I believe that if you're passionate about something enough, you're going to want to point out the good and bad just because you love it that much. And I stand by that, and I'm going to do this episode, obviously. So, Today we're going to be going over my pet peeves slash icks, my least favorite tropes, my least favorite K dramas and why I hate them, and some of the dramas that I dropped and why. So I put some in parentheses because I don't like. I've watched K dramas my whole entire life and I have dropped a lot of them in that span, obviously, but I don't remember. So these are the ones that I could think about on the top of my head while I was writing my script. So let's get into the first bit, which is my pet peeves slash icks. So my first ick is bad pacing. And I kind of wanted to like set the stage of this whole thing. So imagine you're me and you open TikTok and you love K dramas, but you find this girl talking about how, or you find this video and this girl's talking about how like the 15 episode or the 16 episode format is killing K dramas. And you're like, wait, hold up, what is she talking about? To put it in simpler terms, there's a script and like plot lines and a story that you write before you actually film it. And so majority of that story or the K drama itself should not be 16 episodes, or like a lot of K dramas shouldn't even be 16 episodes, but the production company pushes it to be 16 episodes because of the fact that those are like the longest format of like K drama series. And also, if they do that, they get more PPLs or product placements and sponsorships and are able to fill their pockets more because they're getting more sponsorships, getting more PPLs, and like the story and like the structural integrity of the K drama becomes compromised because now you're just putting in a bunch of random stuff to fill in the blank and to make it long enough to fit the 16 episode format. And she was saying how like most K dramas should be 12 max. And so the things that you get from like making your K drama longer than it needs to be is bad pacing. So some examples of this are when they take too long to get the couples together, and normally in K dramas it does take like there's like jokes and memes about it taking like 5 episodes for the main couple to even hold hands. Yeah, in a sense it's kind of like that where like they do drag it out a little bit because like they want to build chemistry, but like it gets to a point. It gets to a point where you're just like, what? Like you can't tell each other how you feel and you've been flirting for these past 10 episodes. And another thing is like sometimes they are in denial and I hate that. Like I really hate when the people are like, or when like the male, or not the male, the main leads are like, oh no, her, oh no, him, never in my life would I ever, for like 10 episodes. Because it's like, please, like, who are you trying to fool? You're not fooling the audience. You're barely fooling yourself. Let's pack it up and tell him you love him. Like, come on. It's like, it's like, please, like, you're, why are you doing this to yourself? Like, there's no need to play hard to get. There's no need to play games in general, but you're doing it for what? Pause, stop, rewind, and reevaluate for oh my goodness. And like because they take so long, they're like, oh yup, like they're like the directors and like the production is like hella trying to convince you like that's chemistry, that's tension. Like look at them. They're denying their feelings. But it's like if you keep doing that, the tension's gonna die. And like sometimes too they wrap all of the conflicts that don't have anything to do, like all of the side plots, side conflicts, whatever, that don't have anything to do with like the main couple getting together. They wrap all of that up in a bow nicely by episode 12, and you're sitting there for another four for another 4 episodes watching a bunch of nothing, basically. And yeah, 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 like that's what happens when you get these companies or get these productions that are trying to just milk the fuck out of their K dramas instead of make a good story. Like the artistic part, the like the film cinematography artistic part of the story is gone because you decided that filling your pockets was way more important than like actually thinking about a plot. And another thing that they do too is like sometimes they stretch out the K drama, like no, sometimes they stretch out the love triangle. Realistically, if you know your friend that was secretly in love with you and is like the second male lead of a, well, okay, I'm not gonna put it like that, but like if your friend who is secretly in love with you like tells you that they like you, knowing that you fuck with someone else, like on the spot you're gonna reject them, right? Like, what do you mean? I'll give it like a couple of days and to think about it. No, like you already know your answer. You don't like them. Like in real life, like okay, maybe the couple of days because if you guys are good friends, whatever. But also, it's just like I don't think I would do that. Like I would be like, sorry, I don't like you like that. Like you're really nice, you're really cool, but you're not my. I don't like you like that. Like I wouldn't like put any courtesy of like, wait, like I'll give you 5 to 10 business days and I'll answer you later. Like, what are you talking about? Like that's what in like a K drama context. Like most of the time they're stretching it out so they could fill in the 16 episode like cutoff, and it's like most people would reject them on the spot, especially if the other person knows that they don't like them, but they're just saying it. So another one of my pet peeves slash icks is murder side plots. Like I think that I really, really I don't like I hate murder side plots with a passion. Cause what are you talking about? It's like a cutesy little like like a cutesy little K drama where like a teacher fall in love with like a person who runs their own business. But oh no, there's a stalker and he's killing people. Why? Why? Like some examples of this would be like Strong Woman Do Bong Soon, Crash Course in Romance, Destined with You, Oh My Ghost. Oh My Ghost is the only one that I think would have like a oh well it's okay because it's literally like it's in the title. Like there's a ghost involved and that ghost doesn't know how she died or why she died, but it's also like I get scared. Like, bro, the like, like the guy in like the serial killer guy in Strong Woman Do Bong Soon with his baby mask and him like dressing up all of his like people that he kidnapped in like wet like bridal dresses and like sniffing. I'm like, oh, like I was scared. Like I was terrified. But you have this cute little short girl with short hair that has superpowers and is working at a gaming company, falls in love with the CEO. Like, what? Like, come on. Like, contrast is one thing, but this is too much. And a lot of times it feels like a cop out. It's like they don't know how to navigate or add any conflicts that don't have to do with like somebody dying. And I mean it in like a you could have like instead of a murder side plot, you could have like an interesting side plot where like one of the characters has mommy issues or like one of the characters is really like can't be vulnerable around other people and like that is hard it's like makes them hard it makes it harder for them to like make connections with others like shit like that like things like conflicts that come with relationships and everyday life you could add that in put in a relatable factor and like kind of spice it up a little bit with some new stuff but no you want to put a serial killer that's killing people because it's just easier like that's what it feels like because like I honestly think that like it takes like a lot more build up and a lot more like chemistry between the actors to have like relational like conflicts. Or you could just write a good story that has that in there. And we're going to talk about this later because I have like a really good example. And I feel like it ruins like the romance aspect like I said earlier cuz like the contrast is like a little too stark and you're like it's supposed to be cutesy and fun but you're like sitting there watching a thriller? Oh no. No, thank you. And another thing is like I feel like it overcomplicates the story because it like puts in a factor of like life or death, they die or they live, when it could just be something simple as like an argument that takes a little bit longer to heal or takes a little bit longer to solve because of the fact that like the characters have personality differences. I feel like you could fit a lot in an hour. Like in the first episode of one K drama, the ending and the start of the K drama are two different stories. So you could definitely add that. Like my next ick is when the characters are inconsistent. And I wrote the script like back in like July or June, and there was this one K drama that I was watching that I got ticked off by so bad that I put this ick in there just to talk about this K drama. So I'm gonna do that. Like what I mean by characters being inconsistent is when I watched this K drama called My Dearest. So basically, like to give a little bit like of a synopsis, My Dearest is like a historical K drama that deals with romance but also has very heavy um influences of like war. So like it's romance in a war setting is basically what it is. And it goes through like before, during and after the war and like what the main characters go through. And so the main characters fall in love or like the guy falls in love with the girl before the war, and during the war he's like trying to win her over but she already likes somebody else. However, it's like kind of working but he's still a little bit like pissy because even if he gets hurt in like a life or death situation, she doesn't care about him, she cares about the other guy that she likes. What happens is the main guy gets recruited by the prince because he understands like the enemies in a psychological level because like he's like interacted with the barbarians, which is like the people that are trying to take over Korea at this time. And like he's interacted with them before, so like the prince recruits him purposely so that he could help to bring the conflict to like a compromise type of thing. But the thing is, like, he doesn't really want to go because he's still trying to get at the girl that he likes. And so before he leaves, like, he's literally like on his way to the prince's headquarters or whatever, but gets stopped by the girl that he likes because she doesn't want him to go, but she can't say it. Like, it's like she likes him, but she doesn't want to admit it because she had liked the other guy for like her whole adolescence up until like early adulthood. So she's not like, hey, wait, I like you. And he just wants her to say, like, I like you. Like, he just wants her to tell him that she doesn't want him to go because she likes him. Even if she lies to him, even if that's not true, he just wants to hear it. And if he does, he won't go. And she doesn't say it. And he's like, oh, you know what? Bye then. I'm going. Sayonara, see you never. But do you want me to bring you back anything? And she's just like, yeah, like just bring back some shoes. And so like months pass by, he doesn't come back. When everyone is like, oh my god, like it's a ceremony, the prince came back and he like the kind he's back in the capital, he reached a good compromise. And everybody that went with him is coming back and they're like it's like kind of like a parade. And she does not spot that man. And she's like, wait, hold on, like, are you sure everyone came back? And then her maid is like, wait, what if he died? Well, she never said it like that. Like, she never said it like that, but she was like, wait. And she's like, you know what? No, like, you need to stop being such a Debbie Downer because my man would never die. And then she's like, wait, just in case, I'm gonna go to like this little hall where they have every dead person's belongings and see what happens. And she looks through all of the boxes and she sees her ribbon. And she starts breaking down and crying because she's like, wait, like, I gave this ribbon to him, so that means he's dead. And she grieves his death, realizes that she liked him the whole time, but he's not actually dead. He's not actually dead. He's just on a different kind of mission and didn't come back with the rest of the team. In that span, she met another man that liked her too, and she was never gonna marry that guy, even though that guy like literally proposed to her. She was like, no, I can't. And he was like, wait, but like, aren't you waiting for like a dead person? Like, he's not even alive. Like, why are you waiting for him? But she said, even still, like, I'm not gonna marry you. However, there was this one like night that her father goes missing, and her father had developed like dementia or Alzheimer's, and that was like compiled with PTSD. So he's really mentally ill and he can't be like around by himself, and it's like hard for him to like remember, obviously. And so he goes missing and everyone's like really concerned because like where would he even go, and like they try to look for him. They don't want him to be harmed, obviously. And the person that finds him is the man that proposed to her at first that she said no to. And everyone around her at this point is like, oh my god, like he's such like a stable man, like he would provide so much for us. And the thing is, like, since her family went through such like tumultuous times and like barely survived, she has been put in this position like unintentionally where she's like the main breadwinner because like she's the oldest child. Her father can't work anymore, and so she's not just taking care of herself, she's taking care of her father and her two younger siblings. One of them is like literally 4, 3, like he's basically a toddler, and the other one is like a high school age girl. And so because everyone has like told her that he would provide so much for her and that he would be so good to her and that he would be like a stable foundation that the rest of her family can be on, be built on, at the end of the day, like she would be able to rest. And so she decides to marry him after he brings the dad back from like, after he's the one to find the dad. She's like, okay, I'll marry you. They're having their engagement party, and her old guy that she thought died comes back and immediately gets upset that she married somebody else. But it's like, she thought you died. Like, it's like she grieved your death. You know what I mean? Like, she like went through literally the 5 stages of grief, but you're not even dead. And then the first thing you do when you come back is get mad at her for being married when she thought you died. And he starts like spewing a bunch of like nonsense and is like, oh yeah, so you would have just gave it to anybody, huh? Like, I should have just tried to get with you, like get with you in that sense when we was at the other village because you just give it away yourself easy. You're literally like he starts bringing up like the other guy that she used to like. He was like, first it was Yeonjun, then it was me, but now it's this other guy, bro. What the heck? Like, you're so easy. Da, 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 da. And the thing is, like, he's so salty because like he said, bro, if you was gonna marry someone else, you could have just married me. You should have just told me to stay, and I would have. But that was literally the thing that was like keeping her up at night. Like, she was like riddled with guilt because she thought like, oh, if I had told him to stay, he would have been alive, even though he wasn't dead. And then like he's like, okay, you know what? Like, I don't care. Like a couple days passes, he's like, whatever. And then he goes to her in the middle of the night and he's like, I don't give a fuck that you're gonna be married. I don't care. Let's run away together. I'm done trying to follow all these rules. I'm done trying to follow all these rules. I'm done trying to do this the right way. Let me just elope with you. Come on. Like, I know that she loved him so bad, but honestly, like, her moving on was starting to get realistic for me because it's like she thought he died, so duh, she would do like what's best for her family. She would make this sacrifice, da 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 da. And the thing is, when he was like literally shaming her, she was standing on business. She was saying, "Oh, you think I'm the problem? You think I'm the problem? Look at you, bro. You keep playing around with me. You said you were serious, but then you acted like you wasn't." Da, 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 da. Like, and I was like, "Wait, yeah, sis. Like, eat him up, eat him up, eat him up. We hate him. We hate him. We hate him. We hate him." And like, I was like, "Okay, so you." I was like, "Okay, so girl, you're done. Period. You're done. Good riddance." Because if a man ever shamed me, even if I was in the chosen era, I would never marry him. I got me a good husband who gonna provide for me and my family, and I don't love him, but so what, right? I guess love does make you do stupid things because she leaves with him instead, elopes with him, and after that, I stopped watching. I was so angry, and I have not picked up that drama since. Like, I haven't picked up that drama since, and I don't know if I ever will because I was already kind of like, it was already pushing it for me because I really don't like seeing like murder or like torture in K dramas. So we'll see if I even keep watching, but I don't think I will because like I got mad just like I got mad just like I was gonna say rekindling. Like just remembering all the stuff that happened, I got mad because I was like, okay, no, yeah, girl, why would you do that? But like, never say never because a K drama that I put on here, that I put in like the section where I talk about the K dramas that I hated. I hated that K drama for years since I finished. Like, I didn't even finish watching it. I hated that K drama for years, but I picked it up and I love it. So we'll just see what happens. And okay, so this is like just kind of like a pet peeve, but I really don't like it when the enemies to lovers is just one character being toxic to the other. Like Boys Over Flowers, I'm looking at you, Gujin Pyo. Why are you bullying her, being so mean to her, and all of that? But you love her. Sorry, but you love her. That's not a healthy relationship. And like if you like a bit of toxicity, don't watch that. Don't watch the Korean version. The Japanese version is honestly way better. Like it actually is so good because I'm not gonna lie, like the Korean version had me like I had a hard time believing any of the characters loved each other. Like I did not believe that Koo Jun-pyo loved Kim Dan-ji because if you loved Kim Dan-ji, you would not be talking to her like that, or your actions would like counter your words. Like you say that you hate her, but you can't help but love her. But like it's like it was like he said he didn't like her, treated her like barely gave her the bare minimum, and was like, oh my god, I gave you everything. Bro, no, I'm sorry, that does not cut it. But that also like sounds like a lot of men nowadays. So maybe that isn't so far off from reality, but I'm not trying to watch a documentary. So this is like one of my I will die on this hill, bro. I will go with that cat. I will die on this hill. One of my this is one of my biggest pet peeves. I really don't like it when they write the second male lead to be like a way better version, a way better fit for the female lead, but he doesn't end up with her. And it's like genuinely genuinely you could have made those attributes a part of the male lead story. Like why did we do this? And I'm looking at you, startup, because why was I don't remember his name. I only remember the actor's name because he was my favorite actor. Why was Kim Sono the guy who wrote her the letters when she was a teenager? And why did it's like why was the second male lead the guy that wrote the letters? If you was not gonna give them give that couple to me, you could have gave that plot or like that story or that childhood friends to lovers. You could have given that to um the other guy. Like you could have given that to the other guy because it's like majority of the time second male leads, they don't end up with a female lead anyway. So if you're gonna give the second male lead a plot line that sounds like something the male lead would have normally, just so you want to spice it up. No, 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 no. The fact that he sacrificed his identity of like being the one who wrote the letters and didn't end up with her, even though he sacrificed that, it upset me so bad because it was like, you could have, like, you did not need to give me hope. You did not need to make me think that this was gonna be, you didn't need to make me think that I was gonna be happy after this. Like, you think it's fun giving your viewers second male hand syndrome, second male lead syndrome. So my least favorite trope, I'm gonna preface this by saying this is a bit of like a contradiction because I I like love triangles, but I don't like it when that trope includes specifically brothers and best friends. Like, I would eat up the love triangle normally, but if you make them brothers or make them best friends before the girl, I I will not forgive you. Because if it's like the brothers, like if they are brothers, I'm like, bro, they're literally blood related, known each other since birth, but you're gonna pull them apart because of a woman? Because of a girl. Like you're gonna stop talking to your brother that you've known your whole life for some coochie? For some cooch? Bro. And like it's the same when they're best friends because it's like he's literally like it's y'all known each other your whole entire lives, had arguments, had fights, but you're gonna cut each other off because of a girl. Like it infuriates me so bad because why would you make them like each other? You could just, I eat it up way more. I love it. I love K dramas or I love triangles when they either already hated each other in the first place, like the two male leads, when they already hated each other in the first place, or they grew to hate each other because they like the same girl. I like that better because their hatred kind of turns into like a respect for each other towards the end because like they're forced to be around each other a lot more since they like the same girl. They're trying to impress the same girl, so they're going to be in the same places, same spaces. And so, like, in the end, it's not like they're breaking up a brotherhood. They become brothers at the end of it, even though one of them ends up with the girl, another one doesn't. And it's way more entertaining to watch when they like fight and stuff because it's like, I don't feel bad. Like, like, I don't feel bad that they're fighting because it's like, bro, you already hate each other. Fight, fight, fight. But then like when they're brothers, it's like stop guys, like please, like she's not worth it, please. Like y'all need to find different girls. It's easier. It's better. Please. Like don't insult each other. Don't like it's like they pull out like the most out of pocket things I've ever heard and they do it because of a girl that they met 3 months ago. Stop it. Stop it, guys. And so yeah, my other least favorite trope that I put here is when there's a second female lead instead. I don't want to see a woman chasing a man. No. I came here to see men yearn and grovel for and cry because of a woman. Like I did not need to see a man do that. Like I've lived that enough. I don't want to see that on my screen. Um, and another thing is like they paint her out to be like a lot more villainous, a lot more power hungry, a lot more clingy, and a lot more mean. Whenever there's a second male lead, like the guy himself, he's not a bad person. He's not like an obstacle getting in the way of the relationship. He just likes her and that's it. Like he's not painted to be the one that doesn't deserve her or the one that's weird. And those guys that do that, like they are never like they never last long. Like it's like a stalker situation that happens for like an episode or two where both guys help out the girl who's going through like a stalker situation. You know what I mean? It's not like the second male lead is the stalker. I feel like it's unfair to paint a woman like that, but not do the same thing when it comes to a man. Because men are just as weird and just as sassy, just as bitchy as women. Like, come on. I'm going to talk about my least favorite K dramas and why I hate them. So, number one on the list, number one that will like the one that will probably be on the list for like the rest of my life, even though like I finished this K drama, it was a hate watch. So the first one is Jealousy Incarnate, and the reason why is because the love triangle was like stretched out so bad. So bad. Like this was the worst case that I've ever seen ever. Let me explain to you. So like it's like a cute little K-drama for like the first like 10, 12 episodes. But then you're like sitting there like why isn't this done yet? Like why isn't this ending yet? Like why are they still going? Because like basically it's about like Jealousy Incarnate or Dare to Dream, whatever you want to call it. It's basically about this girl used to like this guy. The guy didn't like her, rejects her. 3 years pass, but he like is doing his job in a different country. Like he still works for the company. Like he's a newscaster for this Korean company, but he's stationed in Thailand and like she has to go to Thailand to help out with like what's going like she's like a weathercaster and she's trying to like become like a full-time employee at that news place. And so like she's doing all of these small little jobs and one of them is her having to go to Thailand where her ex crush is stationed as a makeup artist and as like wardrobe because they were low on staff. And on the plane she meets this very handsome, very funny guy. Like they just have a really cute interaction and she's like, "Hey." And then so she's in Thailand and she like helps the guy like or she helps her ex-crush get ready and stuff, but he's like hella being like you got to keep your boundaries, you got to don't touch me, don't do this, don't do that because he assumes that she still likes him and he was like very cold to her throughout the whole time that she was obviously trying to pursue him. And it was like a running joke when he was still working there that like she would never get with him. She doesn't like him anymore. And the other guy that was on the plane happens to be her ex crush's best friend. And she starts to like the other guy. And he's feeling a little bit weird, but she doesn't really care because she doesn't like him anymore. However, the two, like her ex crush and the girl, they get like tangled up because she like finds out or like she suspects that he has breast cancer and encourages him to go like check out his breast and whatever to make sure he doesn't have cancer. He ends up having breast cancer, but he doesn't say it anything to anybody else because he thinks it's embarrassing for a man to have breast cancer because it's normally a woman's like disease or whatever. And so the only person that knows is her. And so she like goes and helps him with his appointments and they get closer and stuff. And then um she starts dating her ex crush's best friend, but her ex crush starts to like her. She ends up cheating on her boyfriend with her ex crush, who is his best friend, and like they kiss when they're at like one of their appointments. They kiss, like they make out. It was really 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 steamy, but I was like, I don't want to watch this. Like I don't want to watch people cheat on each other. What the freak? And then so like he finds out that that happened, and like the boyfriend finds out that his best friend and his girl kissed, made out, and instead of being like, this is weird, I'm gonna break up with you, I'm never gonna talk to you again, he's like, you know what, let's all live in the same house and then date, like me and him date you, and you get to pick who you want to go end up with, and the person who loses leaves the house, or the couple leaves together and the loser stays in the house. They agree. So this K drama has like 20 episodes, and a lot of that is just that whole like dating show, like little dating show that was literally reality for them, and I hated it because it's like let's not even talk about like normally you would break up with them, da da da, but it's like I just really didn't like you could have ended this. Like you could have ended this. This is not funny, fun to watch because the thing is, the girl met her boyfriend's mom, and the thing is, her boyfriend and her ex crush, they're best friends, right? But their moms are also best friends. So when she met her boyfriend's mom, she also met her ex crush's mom at the same time. When her ex crush turned boyfriend, like, introduces her to her mom, she's like, to his mom, she's like, what the heck? Like, isn't that your best friend's boyfriend or girlfriend? Like, what? And the thing is, like, even after the girl and her ex crush like each other and they leave the house, he is still trying to get back with her. What? Like, well, like, is that cookie really that good? Like, is it that good? Come on. It was so, like, it was the worst thing I've ever seen. And it was so awkward after because they used to live together and they dated her at the same time. And I was just, no. Like, it was not a good time. So the next K drama that I hate is called Cheese in the Trap. And I'm not gonna get into this too much. All I'm gonna say is it should have been the second male lead because the first male lead, like the main male lead, was literally a psychopath. Let me tell you one thing because I think about this to this day. A lot of like, I was okay, so there was this scene in the K drama where the second male lead and the female lead, like, they're like hanging out and it starts raining, but they like play in the rain, dance in the rain together, and then they go to like the guy's studio, start playing piano. I was confused when I was watching that because scenes like that are long and like it was slow motion and very like it was very like smooth, and like it was like expanding their relationship in a way, like showing the viewers that like, oh my god, they're so cute. I was confused because I was like, wait, like like usually those kinds of scenes are reserved for the main male lead and the female lead, right? I had to look up whether or not he was the second male lead. I had to look up whether or not I was like tripping. I was like, wait, is he the second male lead or the main male lead? When I looked it up, he was the second male lead, and I was like, what? Like you gave me this like touching, really cutesy, like, oh my god, are they together? Are they not? They were so cute. You gave me that, but they're not dating. And to top it all off, her man is like so weird, controlling. He gave me psychopath vibes. But you're telling me that's the girl that she needs to end up with? I mean, the guy that she needs to end up with? What? And so, yeah, like, I was just sitting there so confused. I was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Next is a list of some dramas that I dropped and why. So the first one is Wedding Impossible. The plot was really, really interesting. Basically, Wedding Impossible is about this gay guy who is a who's like a part of a rich family, and nobody knows he's gay, so he's been living in like the US with his partner, but he gets called suddenly to Korea because they want him to be the successor. However, he needs to hide that he's gay because Korea is homophobic, and the only person that knows that he is gay is his girl best friend. Well, it's his best friend that's a girl, whatever. And so he devises a plan to pretend like he's gonna pretend to marry his best friend so that like his family can get off his back, but they're not actually gonna date, obviously. But she falls in love with his little brother. That's like the plot, basically. I really, the plot was interesting, but that guy was so insufferable. Like, he was so insufferable because he didn't think about his best friend at all. He was so selfish, and he played like the victim card so many times without actually explaining to the people around him, especially his brother, about why he was acting so distant. And I get it because like being like queer, being gay in a country that doesn't accept your sexual orientation is really hard, right? The way that he treated his brother was so bad, and it was like you just wouldn't understand, you just wouldn't understand why I'm doing all this from, but like he, yeah. And the thing is, like, I stopped watching it because I was like getting bored, not gonna lie. But I saw this clip where he literally like tells the whole entire nation, yeah guys, I'm gay, I'm sorry, I lied. But he doesn't say, he never told anyone marriage was a scam. Like, cause she said no to his proposal at first because she didn't want to be known as like the girl who, was a part of that kind of scheme and plan, because most of the time she was saying that most of the time the guy is the one that's able to get away with it, but the girl cannot. They're gonna keep remembering her as the girl that did that. Like, faked a marriage with her gay best friend. But he can live his life and go away and whatever because he has way more resources than her because he's rich. And he's like, I know, like, I'm not gonna let that happen. He does it anyway. I also dropped Love Next Door. Don't hate me, but this brings me to like a point that I wanted to talk about earlier. And it's when they put like when writers put in really really popular and famous actors in their um dramas, but the K drama itself doesn't really have a solid story, or like it's kind of not really that good. Um, and so the reason, like, that was like part of the reason why I was like, I don't think that Love Next Door was that great. I think that it was mediocre, not gonna lie. Um, but it gained a lot of traction just because Chung Ae-in and Chung So-min was in it. So I couldn't get past episode 6, and when I got spoiled about her having cancer, I was like, I'm not watching this. I can't go back. Sorry. Another one that I dropped was Cinderella at 2 a.m. and it was so like it sounded really interesting, but the episodes themselves were so boring because like basically it was about how usually in K dramas they give like the rich guy's mom gives the poor girl like money to stop dating their son, but instead of taking that money she doesn't take the money, she continues dating her son. She was like, oh yeah, so see that happens, I didn't do that, I took the money. But she still talks to him every day, they go out on dates. Like, it was really nah, like I didn't like it. There was basically no plot, and there like it could have been really good if it was done differently. Like, we didn't know that she took it, or that like she pretended that she took it, or like some, I don't know. It could have been way better. Like, I see the vision, but it was not executed good. Another one that I dropped was Miss Day and Night. For me, they took too long to get together because they were like at episode 10, but the only thing was like she liked him, but he was like not really, like he was interested, but like I don't know, I just, it was episode 10 and they were not together, and I was like, no, it was episode 10 and they barely made any like progress as to like, oh, she likes him. he likes her. They're not really saying anything. It was more like she likes him. He's busy with like crime stuff. That was the vibe. Another one that I dropped was Beauty and Mr. Romantic, and it's because the male lead's hair slash style made him look old as fuck. Cause basically, like when he was younger in high school, he had really curly hair, dressed very casually, streetwear type stuff. But he still did that at 30 years old. And it just like you could tell that like I don't know like I just didn't like it. And the K drama itself is long because it's like a weekend drama or like a mukbang drama. So like usually there's like 100 episodes, but it was still not interesting enough for me to like be like sat and like watching. So what I want to see more of, like before I get into this, if you know any K dramas that are anything like the ones that I talked about, please comment them down below and so I can watch them and see for myself. So the first thing that I want to see more of is like unique storylines. I have two specific K dramas that have what I'm talking about, and I'm gonna go into them. So, frankly speaking, um, basically, I'm not gonna get into the plot, but I just want to point out this one specific thing of the female lead working as a writer, a head writer on a variety show or like a reality show that has like comedy in it. Um, and I have personally always been curious about the behind the scenes of shows like Running Man and How Do You Play, because there's like a lot of people in there and a lot of production like that have to like, you know, like there's like a lot of writers, a lot of cameras, a lot of like elaborate games and missions they have to play, and like there's people behind those stories, people behind those concepts that make those things up. And like I really wanted to, I've always been curious about like the creative process and like how they get to that and like what it looks like to be a head writer. Basically, frankly speaking, since there's a head writer, um it goes through like her own trials and tribulations of trying to find like a show or a concept that is fresh enough to the point where it would get picked up and then she would be successful and have a show of her own because she was always assistant writer. They actually like edited and included parts of like the script of the show, and like edited parts like they would like show parts of the fake show that they made up and edit that like it was like on the screen for like the audience to watch. And it was really really interesting because, and another thing is like whenever the any of the main leads like they have jobs, they're not really a part of the story. Like they either work off screen or they do a little bit, but like it's not a central storyline. Like it was new territory and there was more potential for conflict that is realistic to the world of the drama because of the fact that like there was this one specific, okay, so I'm gonna just spoil it earlier. I should have put that earlier, but basically like the fake show that the female lead makes is a dating show where at first it's like, oh, they're set to date each other, really cool, wow, it just seems like a regular dating show. But in the end they bring out this one girl who is specifically all of the male contestants' first love. But that girl still likes the guy that the writer likes. And to top it all off, the writer, her ex is a very, like, her ex is very famous. And he ends up joining the show because he still likes her. And then, and then, one of the girls ends up like leaving without saying anything. And so they have to replace her with a new person. And they're like, who do we replace her with? Oh, we're going to replace her with the head writer whose ex is also on the show and whose crush is on the show as well. And like, it was so, I was eating it up because I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? Like it was so interesting and new and fresh, and I really liked that they did that. And I really hope to see more like shows where they either do more like behind the scenes variety stuff like that, or they show like the inside world of some company or industry. And like I know that there's some like that, so like please comment down below. And so the next one, I talked about this in my last video, but also it's my favorite K-drama ever. So in My Sweet Mobster, I really like the fact that she was a kids content creator because I've never really watched a drama with that plot line for any lead. Like I've never seen like the main female lead be like a YouTuber or like especially like a kids content creator. Like I never seen that. Because she was a YouTuber, they added a transition halfway through the drama where like she would be like press like, comment and subscribe, and it would be like edited as if she was saying that to her own YouTube audience. And like she kind of add like throughout the drama, like as more characters got introduced, those characters started doing the like, comment and subscribe instead of her or with her, and it was so cool. Like I really loved it. Like I really thought that it was unique that they committed to the bit of her being a YouTuber even with the editing. And like when they commit themselves to the world of the drama they create, I just eat it up even more because I'm like, yeah, like y'all are passionate about what y'all making, period. Yeah. um I also would like a wider variety of side plots because like I said earlier, majority of the romance dramas have like murder side plots instead, and I hate it. So for example, there's revenge plots, and the two dramas that I watch with those are Marry My Husband and Golden Mask. They could do like mystery plots without the murder. I also like want to see more angst with the romance between the leads. Marry My Husband and Welcome to Samdari are good examples of this because like for example, like Marry My Husband, he hella helped her get her revenge, and like they were kind of going through a rough patch because of the revenge itself, but and like a lot of unspoken things, but like they still cared about each other in the end and like showed up for each other. Welcome to Samdari. I really like that they were exes and that they got back together after 8 years and like went through all that because like it was just like I've never honestly like I've never seen a K drama where like the two leads already knew each other, already dated each other, and then ended up together. Like I want to see more of that because like the fact that they broke up in the first place and like the reason for their breakup like is enough conflict in and of itself. I also want to see conflicts in relationships that are less overdramatic and have a more realistic perspective. So like conflicts with family, friends, exes, or the couples themselves outside circumstances that act as obstacles for their relationship. Um Crash Course in Romance especially. This one definitely could have had other conflicts that they talked about that weren't like they really didn't need a murder side plot because it was interesting enough on its own. The daughter's trauma with her being adopted was literally like the daughter's trauma with her being adopted and how like everyone thought that like first of all because it was literally layered as hell. First of all, everyone thought that her mom was married but and had like a spouse that was overseas because she didn't want people to look down on her for being a single mom. That causes conflict because when people find out about her relationship, they automatically assume that she's having an affair, and like because he was like a popular figure, everyone was like blowing it out of proportion, but nobody wanted to say that oh no like the mom herself never wanted to say like I'm a single mom, nor did she want to say I'm actually her auntie and I adopted her because my sister was not taking good care of her child. That was like so like I really liked it because like the daughter herself had trauma with like the fact that she trusted her friend and everyone else ended up finding out about her mom not being her real mom and like how that made her feel. and like when she decides to like reveal it to like the world publicly online, saying that she was adopted and that's actually her auntie, like that was so interesting. And they could have hella expanded on it and made it like even bigger, or made it like more of a focus instead of that freaking guy with a slingshot and some metal balls. Those kinds of issues where it's like has to do with like relationships and conflict with family, like make the characters seem more humane, and like you get to relate to them, and like the story itself becomes a lot more richer because it's more relatable, and it's not fully just like fantasy and like fiction. And I also want to see more manhwa adopted dramas, because I think a lot of these tropes that I talked about and more unique tropes are in webtoons, and a lot of the webtoons that I love dearly have the potential to become really popular K-dramas. Some examples of K-dramas that are really popular and were manhwas are Lovely Runner, Extraordinary You, Business Proposal, and Marry My Husband. So like y'all need to start tapping in a little bit more. And even, bro, even My Sweet Mobster. That was a freaking what's it called? That was also a manhwa. So like there's an untapped market here. Come on, if you're a Korean like influencer, if you, I don't know why I thought about influencer, but if you're a Korean like director, like production company worker, production company CEO, happen to stumble upon this video, make more manhwa adopted K dramas, please. Yeah, but that's it for today's podcast episode. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. It's almost 1 a.m. I'm really tired, and this ring light is making my eyes hurt. Bye, pretty people. See you guys later.